Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You are at CoffeeBreak Logistics and Supply Chain with myself, Benita Lee, and Jose Montoya. Today, we started late because we had to recognize that moment of silence at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. So that would have been 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. So I'm going to bring on my co-host, Jose Montoya.
Hello, Benita. How are you? Good morning.
I'm good. How did you think I did your intro? I forget. I remember. We're supposed to start it off with a question. What was the question, Jose?
The question. I mean, it's always a question when we are talking about expanding, right? winter, winter shopping season has started. Are we prepared? That would be the question for me. I never prepared to spend money, especially during holidays, right? Because the spending goes like this.
Right. Yeah. No, after you sent me that graphic, I went and did my own research.
Uh-huh.
And I saw that, as you said, like the retail spend at the end of the year,
hmm
yeah, it basically has that hockey stick graph.
Yes, yes. And it's amazing. I mean, I'm not saying that is anything wrong with buying gifts and gifting, right? But it's amazing. I mean, how the budget for every single even companies and people, regular people like you and I, right, increased drastically because the pressure that is being put in the market and then you almost forced to spend something that you don't have, right? I always remember
Yeah,
this phrase: you buy things that you can afford to impress people that you don't know.
right.
It seems to be that that's very accurate. I mean, over time, and I don't know. The first time that I heard that was probably like I don't know, like 20 years ago, and it hasn't changed. I believe that it has the same sort of meaning, and for many people, I would assume that is very accurate. It's very accurate, I guess. So, and again, I mean, I have mentioned it a couple of times, and this is another opportunity. Um, this past week, I mean, I was getting a coffee myself in one of the coffee shops, and they have those beautiful Christmas cups. Beautiful, so nice. But I said, what happened with Thanksgiving? Where we are in November, and
I
the
know. I started it because I insisted that we do Santa's supply chain last week, and so
uh-huh.
we analyzed Santa's supply chain, and I forgot that, the Americans hadn't even had their Thanksgiving yet.
Yeah, it's coming up soon, and
Hmm.
all the retail is forgetting about that because there's nothing. It's all about Christmas, and
I
that's
heard
not.
there was a lot of shelves that are empty.
Yeah, that is true too, but it's not fair. It's not fair because for those that I count myself in, uh, that we love Thanksgiving, then we are overlooked completely.
No, no. I think like when people ask what my favorite season of the year is, I always say Thanksgiving season because Thanksgiving season is in October for the Canadians and in
hmm
November for the Americans. So it's like a whole month and a half long of celebrations about what we're grateful for. So I guess before we go into what we're grateful for, hi
Uh-huh.
Damien. Damien's tuning in from Poland again. We saw him last week. So tell us where you're from, and if you're seeing that the store shelves are empty, or if you're able to find the things, if you do your early shop. I mean, this is really the weekend, isn't it? Veterans Day announces to everyone that it's that time of year. I think we're going to start to see "'Tis the Season" posts pretty soon here.
Yeah. Now, Veterans Day is celebrating today, right? It's not always celebrated on a Friday. Is that correct?
No, you mean because we call it happy hour?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I mean, we should be celebrating what we're thankful for every day. And you know what they say, Jose, the more you are grateful, the more you'll have to be grateful for. I think that was a Maya Angelou quote. I love her. So what are you grateful for, Jose? I know that you've been feeling under the weather. You got like a cough and you've been traveling a lot. So,
Yeah, I've been on the road for this is the third week, and definitely my immune system has not been up to what I needed to be, and I've been challenged by it, but seems to be that I'm in the other side, still not 100%, but getting better every single day. I don't know. I'm trying at
Can you
least.
guys give Jose some tips on, like, I told him honey and water and lemon, you know?
Mhm. Yeah,
Just
and in the meantime, I'm having some good coffee and see if that is going to
yeah,
change.
you can't skip your espresso. I know you can't. I can't either when I'm sick. I have to be really, really sick and unable to go to the coffee machine.
Hmm. Which is difficult, right?
Right. To not have coffee.
Mm. Now, what do you think about this spending season? Let's call it like that: the spending season, the holiday season, the spending season.
I really don't feel the pressure or the stress that a lot of people do,
Uh-huh.
um, because, you know, our family on both sides, I have 36 cousins, as you know, so Christmas is really busy for me.
How many you
When
said? How many you said?
36 or 37 cousins on both sides of the family, and
God.
most of us live in this province, so at Christmas time, I'll see most of them.
Uh-huh.
There's one set of cousins where we do our, our gift giving, our Christmas dinner in January, which I love because we all work and have kids and all these events to go to in December.
Uh-huh.
And it's too stressful to have our family thing in the same month. So we wait till January, like with the Ukrainians, I think. Is that right, Damien? They have their Christmas later as well, right?
Really? They do? I didn't know that.
I don't know. We'll have to check with Damien. Damien would know, I'm sure.
Well, Demian is in Poland, right?
Right, but he would know if
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Ukrainians have like we call it a Ukrainian Christmas. When I tell people we're having a Christmas dinner in January, they say,
Okay.
"Oh, you're having a Ukrainian Christmas," and I'm like, "Yeah." But what we do is we don't buy for every single person, right? Because there's too many. There's
Mm-hmm,
too
mm-hmm.
many. So what we do is we have a secret Santa. And I mean, I think it's really fun because it's the one time a year where I get brutal. You know how I'm very nice and I'm accommodating and I'm polite and I'm pretty, like whatever. Well, during this Christmas picking of presents, we all get a number and then we pick. I get brutal. If I want something,
Uh-huh.
I will steal it from a younger cousin. I don't care if they cry.
That's not a good example, Benita.
Mhm.
You need to make a nice impression within the young generation. Come on.
How how boring would that be? Everyone else is doing that. But no, I take this one time a year to
Hmm.
like if to get whatever I want. And I don't care. I don't care if, you know,
And when you guys get together, I mean, where? Because I mean, 36 people
one of our
plus the other
houses,
ones.
never
Nice.
mine, because
Uh-huh.
my house is tiny,
Okay.
but one of the cousins that have a lot of kids will do it at their house, and it's quite a system. I think you'd be impressed if I ever invited you. Like
Uh-huh.
the recycling is one area, everything is labeled. We bring a
Okay.
potluck. We bring
Okay.
a
Okay.
potluck, so everybody brings a dish as well.
Uh-huh.
And there's also like a contest. Like so there will be a theme. And one year it'll be Japanese, Italian, or whatever. And you got to bring a dish, and then everybody
Mhm.
votes. Now, I try to win that, and that's what I'm really gunning for, but I never win that. So my
Because
cooking
you,
skills are not quite there yet, but I'm working on it.
so I mean, it's a couple of hockey teams that you have in your family because when they get all together, I mean, it's like a three different teams. You guys can play hockey, hockey
So,
tournament.
yeah, and there's a lot of cousins that I have that play hockey, surprisingly, the females and the males.
Okay. The
Yeah, in
female.
my generation, it's mostly females, and then in the generation after me, so my nephews and nieces, is mostly nephews. It always happens that way, doesn't it?
I have to apologize because my ignorance, right? But females playing hockey is the same thing that you see in those games where the guys fight all the time, beat up
No.
completely? No?
No, I think it's usually unisex hockey. So
Okay.
it's guys and girls playing at the rink at the same time. So it's not like on TV where you see people hitting people into the boards and stuff like that. Like, well, not usually.
Oh,
I've heard
okay.
some teams get a little serious, but
Oh my God.
I don't condone that.
Oh no, you support that?
No, I don't condone like injuries. No, I don't.
No, no, no. Yeah, it's not an sport anymore, right? When that
Right.
happens.
I have one cousin that um lays water into like their yard in a rink shape and
Uh-huh.
then freezes it, and then the kids play hockey. It's so fun.
Yeah, it must be. It must be. Is that true that the hockey players, I mean, they miss some of the teeth
Oh,
trying
yes,
to
always.
always?
Yeah, you assume that, you assume that there's teeth missing if you're a hockey player.
That's not a good thing, right? But anyway.
No, it's like our version of your American football. I noticed that it looks like we're in the same room today. Look at
Yeah,
we're
yeah, but I tried to match it up, but we are like 3,000 miles away, probably, right?
right. Well, at least two.
It gotta be like that, or no? Probably it's more than that. Anyway, I mean, I know I have to do the
No, it
calculation.
just seems like that because it takes so long in California to drive anywhere.
So if it's a direct flight from where you are to California, how many hours?
Probably about 5 hours.
So it's about 3,000 miles then.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay. I didn't know that because when I drove from, well, I guess flying in, I don't know. When I drove from Duluth, Minnesota to Calgary, Alberta, I thought it was under 2,000 miles, but that was driving and I'm not sure. So,
Yeah, Minnesota is up north where we are.
oh, right.
Right,
Yeah, some parts of Minnesota are north of Canada.
right, right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's got to be like around 3,000 miles. So yeah, wow.
So, what are you gonna buy for people? Like, do you need to? I only need to really buy one gift for every event that I go to for Secret Santa.
Okay. Well,
So that's not a huge bunch of stress for me.
what? That's a good question. I try not to buy anything for anyone, um, and I have to be very resourceful in things like. I mean, again, I mean, it's not. It's only me. Over time, I mean, it seems to be that I have changed my mind about buying gift, not because any other reason other than I'm sorry, any other reason other than um, I mean, it's probably, let's say, people have everything that they need. Something that they need is something that we should be given to them. So one of the choices that I found is to those that are open, just to give time, my time, to those people, and
Oh,
be
I like
able
that.
and be able to interact with those people, and be able to talk, and be able to have to share something like a meal is probably my best choice. That's probably the best gift that I can have, and that's what I probably moving forward. I have done it in some fashion, but definitely I have to increment that. And moving forward, I mean, I think that that's my holiday gift. It's just time,
Yeah, I like that.
and it's difficult, but I mean, it's just a matter of being creative. I mean, it's not buying things. I mean, it's not probably something that is quite meaningful. And I'll tell you the reason, because let's say that in an office, right? In an office, you go. I mean, they have all these parties and something called White Elephant, I believe, right? Where they
Okay.
exchange gift and they fight for the gifts, and I can install yours and you can install mine, and stuff like that. So, but that gift is probably the limit is like $20. So
Mm-hmm.
$20 is something that is not that meaningful. I mean, it can be funny, but it's not meaningful for you. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, what you are going to do is spending money for no reason. So, I mean, sharing a meal, like you were saying before, I mean, a potluck where everyone is going to be making a contribution and they're going to have fun time and stuff like that. I mean, something around food probably would be much better than exchanging gifts.
Yeah,
Um,
so that's not what the stats say, Jose.
yeah, but you know that I got issues, right?
Oh no, no, you've got a good attitude. You got a good attitude. Let's bring up the stats though and see what Americans are doing. Like, Canadians, it's such a small population compared to the Americans that I don't even think we make like a dent in the stats, right? So when we say Americans, we're just gonna like encompass Canadians. We'll just think of it as North Americans.
That is correct. Yes.
Hi,
The only
David.
so you're gonna share the stats.
Uh, I don't see if you bring them up, or do you want me to go get them?
No, I'll probably I'm gonna get them. David,
Okay.
this is your cousin, David
Oh
Lee.
yeah, David and I are probably related somehow. He's actually Korean, but I'm sure we're related.
Mm-hmm. Somehow, some
I'm
way,
sure
right?
we're related, right, David?
So
David lives
David,
in California like you do.
good, and he seems to
So let's
be
have
that like the white elephant is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yes,
he probably does that with his cousins too. I bet. He's probably got 36 cousins like I do.
most likely, right?
Mhm.
So let me try to bring up the stats. Okay, I'll try to do my best here, but
Yeah, no. Jose
Very good
found
news.
a really good infographic about holiday spending, and I'm sure you won't be surprised to know that um, the North Americans and Europe lead the way in terms of spending.
Right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, you'll have to scroll up and down, but I can see that, you know, you know what stuck out at me was that Black
Mm-hmm.
Friday, like, wow.
Oh,
Like
the famous
one
the
day,
uh-huh.
in one day, it says like 2019, there was 93.2 million in spend. And then like Christmas and New Year's sales in the US amounted to $1 trillion.
$1 trillion. That yes, that is it.
$1 trillion. It's like
And
no wonder. Like I don't know about you guys, but um I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what 2022 numbers are, right? Because like with this impending recession and inflation, like are people going to spend as much as they usually do? Like I could see last year, I could see last year or whatever being $1 trillion. But this year, people can go out and see their families, right? And they've gone back to the office and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting, Jose.
yeah, now Benita, you know my questions always, right? Sometimes make no sense whatsoever, but let me continue that
Okay.
path. Uh, is it makes sense? It makes sense for, I mean, just to have a better economy that we ask our regular, I mean, the population to getting that buying things that they can afford for in order to have a stronger economy. I always wonder that. I mean, it's a silly question, but what do you think about that?
Sorry, rephrase it.
So, in order to have a strong economy, technically everyone is asking to the population to get in that buying things that they can afford in many times. For the simple fact that we would like to have a stronger economy because the economy is based on um,
You're saying that in order to have a strong economy, people have to buy. People have to
yes,
spend money. They can't be saving.
yeah.
And
So,
like all of the government policies tell us that, but let's think about it this way. What if that system is wrong? Like what if that's not the right thing to do? You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like in a capitalist society, yes, that's what we do. We stimulate spending to
Mhm.
curb inflation and recession. But is that really the thing we should be doing? Like, this is the first time in history that we'll know. You know what I mean? Like, these are economic facts that we're testing right now. Like, I'm not sure that in order to, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Jose, that's a really good question. Like, does anyone in the audience have any comments or thoughts on this? Like, in times of recession and in times of recession, the big banks raise their interest rates, inflation, and then the government tries to stimulate spending. So is that the right way to do it? I mean, it feels like we're hurting ourselves.
Right. I mean, in the long term, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
It feels like
In-
we're hurting ourselves. Like, um, not only are we getting into more consumer debt, Like it's not a happy population that is sitting there paying off credit card bills.
Yeah, and I always wonder. I mean, let's say, for example, the minimum wages. Let's say that someone is in that situation where the minimum wage, let's say that is $25,000 per year, right? And let me do a quick math here because I haven't done it, but let me see what it means. Um, oh shoot. Hmm.
Well, while you do that, David is saying he's asking himself, will I spend as much money as the years before? And the answer is no. He'll probably come up with more creative ways to show his appreciation to others without spending as much. I'm with you, David. I think that I'm gonna go with you and Jose on that.
Yeah, and this is a quick math. It's not accurate, right?
Okay.
But this is if someone is in the lowest wages possible, let's say $25,000 per year. I'm
Oh,
talking
geez.
about I'm talking
That's
about minimum.
poverty line, right? That's poverty line.
Yes, and according to what I read in multiple different publications, I mean the regular credit card debt payment per month is around the $500.
Oh
So,
my
so
goodness.
let's say that your wages are 25,000
Mm-hmm.
divided 12. That means $2,000 and 83. $2,000. Let's say for this particular, make it simple. two thousand
Right.
dollars, and if you pay 500, it's a quarter of that income that you have to pay in a credit card.
Yeah, and then it's like a never-ending cycle, right? Like
Right.
when the only way you can get out of that is if you take on another job or you get a raise and but yeah, things are changing all the time. So how do you get out of it?
Yeah, and so for a person that is having this situation, and then this season comes where the I mean the market is telling you need to spend money, you have to buy gift to your family or whatever the case may be. This is a terrible time because the pressure is horrible, and you're going to
Mhm.
start getting into more debt
Mhm.
because you don't have the money that can afford uh, buying for. I mean, if you have a family like you, like we are talking about on 40 members, 60 or something like that, forget about it. I mean, that's crazy.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Um
now,
It's depressing. It's depressing, Jose, and that's probably why not only does the spending curve go up, but also the incidence of suicide and depression. Like gifts, material things usually do not make people happy. And like when we think of what we would like to give ourselves or our friends when they are in a time of depression, a gift is not going to do it. You're really right, David and Jose, that giving your time to them is really the most precious gift. Like, I know that when I'm, in a situation, and I like to hide out when I'm in a situation. Like, I don't get out very much, and I hide
mhm,
out. And my friends can basically tell. And what they do is they're just like, "Hey, um, I'm going to such and such a place. I'm going to come
mhm.
pick you up." And then it's like you can't say no because they're like, I'm on my way. And then, I'm just like, oh no, I don't want to go out. I feel like crap. But when I actually get in the car with them and we start, just doing chores, like getting groceries, something as simple as getting groceries or going for a breakfast, I start to feel a lot better. And when I come home, I feel a lot better. So, you know, I don't know if everyone is like this, but, think about how you feel when somebody gives you their time like that.
Yeah, and we have a very good learning lesson, right? I mean, when we were through the pandemic, when most of everyone was at home, everyone was wishing to be with the family and friends sharing, right?
Right.
So that is a red flag. I mean, what is important? I mean, technically, that's what is important. I mean, just share with the people that you love, that you care about. That's probably the most meaningful thing. Instead of buying, for example, I am 100% enemy of sending cards, Christmas cards and stuff like that, because
Oh, really? I was thinking I was going to do that this year just because I enjoy snail mail so much.
now, but let's put it in a little context, right? If you send me a, a Christmas card, where basically you are going to have your name in the middle of the card, right? Versus if you write a short note, that I would appreciate 100% more the letter that you're gonna take the time to write to me about whatever, right? Probably the same thing that is wishing me through the card, but if you're gonna take the time and you're gonna write it yourself, then I would appreciate that much.
Mhm. Like what David's saying here, I'm not sure what he's meaning, but like, what if I wrote to Jose and I was like, hey, let's have a 30-minute coffee chat on, I don't know, January 9th or whatever, right?
I would like to have that coffee.
Yeah, and that card is special, right?
Right, absolutely correct. Yes, that's something that I would do without thinking it twice.
Mm-hmm.
That, but again, that's me, right?
Yeah, well, it seems like David agrees with you profusely here.
Now, this going through these stats, I mean, they call my attention because I mean, it seems to be that there are artists in multiple different sides of the world, right?
Yeah,
And
like I didn't know about this Flipkart
yes,
big
I didn't know
billion
either.
sale. I had no idea that the Indian retail market is one of the largest in the world. Holiday season spending in 2019 alone reached a total of 46
46.
billion dollars. And then Flipkart, like I've seen Flipkart ads or something, or like, is it a platform?
I really don't know. It seems to be that it's like a platform. It seems to be, but I really don't know.
Yeah, does David know? David is in the tech sector, so maybe he can tell us what Flipkart is. But they have this a big billion days sale. Like, can
According
you
to
imagine?
yeah,
The
according to
Indians have a huge population.
right, according to what it says here is it's a big billion day sale, and they have deals from different consumer electronics, like phones, laptops, and
Oh, it's Amazon for India.
that is right. That is
Thank
absolutely.
you, David. Thank you. It's
Hmm.
Amazon for India. So it's like Amazon and Amazon Day. Wow, they're really into Amazon because then they have this Amazon's Great Indian Festival sale.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I mean, it seems to be that all over the world. I mean, it's the same
Mm-hmm.
concept, right? I mean, people are getting incentive to spend money. I mean, the incentive is
Yeah.
being pushed around basically, but because they don't gain anything.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna spend time. You're right. I'm gonna spend time with my friends, my family.
Now, do you know anything about this
I do. I see it. It's
increased
not in
initiative?
February. It's in November. Is it in November?
It is?
Oh, it's November. Oh, it's today.
Is
It's
it
today,
today?
November 11th.
November 11th.
Yeah, which I always thought was weird because it's also my I gotta wish my nephew whose birthday is November 11th and my grandpa who just passed away a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
His birthday is November 11th. But yes, I remember that their birthdays fall on Chinese Valentine's Day is what we call it. because it's Singles Day. So it's like Valentine's Day.
So it's the equivalent of the Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it's like the Asian version of it.
And what is the type of a gift that is being
I
exchanged?
wonder. I bet you. I bet you it's. I. What does it say? Singles Day. It doesn't say anything, but I don't think it's chocolate. We have
No?
to Google that. What to buy? What to buy on Asians Singles Day? Let's see. 41 best things to buy. Or no, sorry, this is at an Asian grocery store. What is China's? When can you shop? Unfortunately, the Singles Day 2022 deals haven't kicked off just yet. So you're going to have to wait until early November. As soon as the sales do go live, you'll be able to find them all here. Let's see. Oh, and then they'll do it on Alibaba. Oh my goodness. Like, so not only are we not spending time with people, we just like ship things door to door now.
It's
We don't
amazing.
see each other.
And it's amazing in some, I would assume, some families or stuff like that. I mean, they're having Thanksgiving dinner, and here in the United States, and everyone is going to be in the phones just trying to make the best deal in Amazon or whatever the case may be for the Black Friday. So that's very silly, by the way, but I'm assuming that that's the case in these particular times.
Yeah, so okay, well then I'm going to refrain from buying anything from Amazon for the entire month of November.
We are not trying to discourage. I mean, any company.
I
Right?
am. I'm starting a movement. And yeah, no, I don't need to because I have my book. And Jose, I only really buy books from Amazon. Aren't I
Okay.
old school? I'm
Uh-huh.
so old school. Like that was
Yeah.
the intended purpose, that Jeff Bezos meant it for. And that's what I do use it for. I go to stores to buy my stuff. I don't really, I used Instacart to order my groceries and Imperfect Foods during the pandemic. And I really just go down to the Shoppers Drug Mart, which is kind of like a Walgreens or a CSV. I
Mhm.
forget what the CSV or a Walgreens. It's called a Shoppers Drug Mart, and it's tied to a grocery store, and I get my optimum points. So
CVS is what you're saying, right?
CVS, right?
CVS. CSV would be a file.
Oh, got it. I have some of those. I don't know what they are.
So, I mean, in this area, we see also something that is taking place in Indonesia, right? 12,
Okay, what
12.
goes on in Indonesia for holiday spending? Let's see. I can't. Is it Harbolnas? Is that
Harbolnas.
is that what you're
Yes,
seeing?
that is correct. Yes.
Okay, so that's on December 12th. Now, can you tell me what that is?
Is it, well, it doesn't say. It seems to be that it's one of those national shopping days, and the probably the highlight is that that represents $640 million online are being spent in that day. So numbers are huge all over the world, right? And it seems to be that every single country has their own thing happening in different times, but around this particular season. Um, Now we see here also Australia and New Zealand having the famous Black Friday. This is not as it's not working with me.
Oh
I
my gosh.
assume
I just Googled Harbolnas, and the name of Harbolnas stands for National Online Shopping Day in Indonesia. Usually held in just one day, the first Harbolnas was held on December 12th, 2012. through the collaboration of several marketplaces and the largest e-commerce stores in Indonesia. The aim is to encourage Indonesian consumers to shop online. Well,
Mhm.
no wonder we're having so much supply chain madness. Everybody in the world is encouraging e-commerce.
Right, right. And that's the industry that is going to be taking. I mean, it has, and is going to continue doing it. Right, has taken over from the regular shopping malls. Uh, because when you see these numbers, then basically you need to think about. I mean, if you're going to open a huge store in one of those malls, right? Oh,
Right, a brick and mortar store is really dangerous.
yeah, in this particular time, that is correct. Yes.
But
Now,
you know what? I guess it does make sense to not have retail space, like physical space, taken up by malls,
right.
right? Malls really don't encourage, well, I don't know, could they be considered kind of like, no, I think like a city market is more like what, maybe what we should go towards if we want to encourage people to talk to each other, to socialize, and.
Now, you bring a very good point because it's nothing wrong with the retail space. It's probably that the concept they have to be a little bit different.
Yeah,
The interaction have to be a little bit different. I don't know. There
there
are
has
so
to
many.
be a reason. It can't be just things on a shelf, things that collect dust on a shelf.
Yeah, because if you see, for example, I mean, Asia, they have all these black markets, mainly for food, right? Or correct me,
Right.
or correct me if I'm wrong, but and attracts a lot of people. But the concept is not. I know that the food is probably one of the driving factors, but the second thing it would be just to have a sort of community where interaction and music and conversations and more are taking place during that specific time.
I keep on learning about Indonesia lately.
And just continue down this particular infographic. Australia and New Zealand, Black Friday, $3.9 billion on Black Friday. That's that's a very interesting number, no question about it.
Wow.
Um,
I'm looking at these scattering of islands, these pink ones.
mhm.
That are Indonesia, and then I'm looking at the size of the states. Like they have the same population as the states on those scattering of islands.
And are we buying because the effect that is causing? Like I don't know. I don't feel anything good when I buy something that I don't need. I feel bad, by the way, but I don't know. I don't know. In general, I mean, what is the when you buy, you feel better?
Oh,
Is
buyer's remorse?
uh-huh.
Okay, yeah. Buyer's remorse and retail therapy. Can we
Yeah.
take a minute and talk about buyer's remorse and retail therapy? Anyone want to share a story? Oh, Indonesia is composed of some 17,500 islands, of which more than 7,000 are uninhabited. Jose, when I retire and you can't find me,
Okay.
that's where I'm going to be. I would have bought an island in Indonesia, and I'll be busy pulling infrastructure so I can have running water and electricity.
Now, continuing here, it seems to be that Latin America, I mean, is in the same path that every single other uh, side of the world, right? Um, I don't think that there's no change whatsoever. Now, Black Friday is being mirrored by many different countries, right? That's for
Right.
sure. Why? Because it seems to be that it's a great idea to be able to promote sales using
It's a great idea for the stores to get rid of the things on their shelves.
that is correct. Yes.
And then I feel good when when I buy something at like 70% of its retail cost. Or sorry, no, 30%, 70% off.
70% off. Yeah. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that in so many countries having the same thing, but in Colombia, um, the government is like, let's say the IRS promote specific days where people can buy without paying taxes. So
Oh man, oh man.
they have 1 or 2 days in a row where people can buy every single kind of goods uh, without paying taxes. That's how they promote, I mean, the consumption and bring money to the system faster. And the
I
benefit for the
like
people it would be
that.
not
I
paying
like
taxes.
that.
Hmm.
It's not to raise your interest rates, it's to lower the taxes.
Right. Now there's multiple different complications in that because okay, you know that taxes. I mean, the golden goose. In order to have those golden eggs, you have to be fed, right? So for the government, I mean, in the way that they get fed is by taxes.
Mhm.
So every time that they walk away from the taxes or the tax collection, then it means that the golden goose is not being fed. Therefore, when we are talking about health uh, bridges and roads and stuff like that, is when the quality start decreasing and stuff like that because there's no money to put back into.
Assuming they're spending the tax money on those things.
I was waiting for that comment because I said Benita is gonna jump right into it.
Mhm. Like
So
I'm a huge um I am just suspicious. I am just suspicious. I think more public um companies, public firms or like government firms should be audited.
yes, as a matter of fact, I mean, it definitely have to be oversight, right? Because I mean, just because it's the government, it doesn't mean that they are gonna do the right thing all the time.
That's
And
right.
and especially because I don't disagree with the taxes, definitely not, because the system have to be, I mean,
Yeah,
grease
we have
in
to
order.
pay for roads and bridges,
Right.
infrastructure. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Healthcare.
Now, if I gonna open my faucet and then I don't see water, then that's a problem because I pay taxes. Therefore, I should expect to have the basic service
That's
that
right.
an administration should provide, especially if they are collecting your taxes. If I have an emergency and then the hospital or the clinic, I mean, is not accepting me, then that is an issue because why I pay taxes? I mean, someone can place a 911 call and then I'm gonna have an emergency vehicle just give me the support that I need. So if those things don't happen, then why the government is collecting taxes? So in a let's say area where I mean you pay the taxes and you get all the services, no problem. But I know that that's not taking place in every single place, even in the United States, by the way.
Right.
I like this calendar because now you see we are not talking about the last quarter of the year. We like to call the peak season or the season for the expanding season, right? We said that in November, technically the season is spent. I mean, which is the winter season for um, where all the holidays are. I mean,
Mhm.
towards the end of the year. Happen to be that in so many parts, I mean, extend until January, and
Right.
in some areas of Europe and in the United States, start in September.
I would like to see like the marine traffic or whatever overlay of this. You know what I mean? Like on top of this to see like if it matches the shipping patterns, and it's like we gotta be planning earlier than we ever have before.
Yeah, in regards of let's say ocean transportation, I mean, most of the goods are arriving here to United States between these times, right? September, October, getting prepared for the Black Fridays and the Christmas holidays.
Right.
That's the cycle that we have seen before. Now with the pandemic and everything, I mean, we have seen that for any given reason, I mean, this is taken even earlier, right? Like a June, July, or whatever the case may be.
Right. Yeah, the
But
backlog has already started in June and July.
now what I see here is the calendar retail holiday. Now we are talking about 5 months. 5 months. That's a lot. So what it means for the consumer, it seems to be that the market is going to push you to buy things through 5 months. And he, this is probably not covering everything, because in the retail market, we see a lot that every single season counts, right? Like going back to school, like what else? Um, I mean, we were talking about the singles in Asia, but all these, I mean, there's always, every single month has a season that basically the main focus is the retail market. I mean, they're offering different discounts, different products and stuff like that. So we are in a 12-year calendar where we have to plan to spend money. That's
Right.
that's that's something that is always a concern to me. Not because I don't want to, it's just because
Mhm.
you are going to be in that rush 12
Yeah.
months.
Yeah, and then on top of that, there's birthdays, weddings, anniversaries. That's every month.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah, no, I like the way that our family does it for our immediate family, like my mom and my brothers and a really close aunt and uncle and some cousins. We celebrate birthday months. So everybody, like for mine, August, my aunt has her birthday and my mom has her birthday as well. So we all celebrate in August and we just have one dinner
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and we don't buy gifts, we just eat.
I love that practice. I love
Hmm.
that practice. Mm. What we can expect, I mean, for 2022? Well, I mean, I have to tell that this is not a secret, right? But the retail market, I mean, is expecting, I mean, that everyone is going to buy everything that they can, right? And because that's the last quarter that for this year, and they would like to end strong.
Yep.
Um,
That's what they want. I mean, that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit on my hands and try not to buy anything because I really don't need anything. Like, what is there that I really, 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 really need?
and you make me remember this is when you're going to buy something, you have to ask a question, right? Do I
Hmm.
need this or do I want this?
And I have this Dare to Lead, and this was the only thing that I thought of that I wanted as a present is a hard copy of this book. But do I need it? No.
No. Do you want it? Yes.
Yeah, I do because you know how I'm have this idea of my dream library. Like I could live in a shack,
Uh-huh.
but this library, like I want it to be like really nice. Like I want it to be like a fancy library.
That's a good dream. As a matter of fact, I mean, it's something very nice.
Yeah,
Now,
and it can be my studio too, right? It can be my library slash studio.
now let's have a different view on the spending, right? Now, for those that they have money or extra money, and they would like to share that wealth with some others, that's okay. It's not a problem, right? My whole expending issue is when you don't have money. You should be okay not
Right.
spending.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hear, and this is coming from an economist. I don't remember exactly the name because I haven't taken my medicine today, but is an economist that said it many years ago. When you, if you die and you die with a lot of money, is because you haven't made a good accounting of that, right? Now you have to spend that in life or be able to pass that along to someone when you are alive, not when you die. So
Right.
in another words, I mean, like let's say, for example, that I am a grandpa and 90 years old, and I have several $1 million in my checking account. So I'm I'm gonna be passing away soon. What do I have? I mean, what am I gonna do with that money that is in my bank? I mean, without touching it, I have to do
Mm-hmm.
something like that, right? So if that's the case for me, I would say, you know what, my birthday is approaching. I don't know if it's going to be the last one. Then I'm going to bring all my family to, let's say, what, to the Bahamas, for example. And everyone is going to spend a week with me, and we're going to laugh, and we're going to eat, and whatever. And that's basically what we're going to do. Just share that when you are alive, and
Yeah.
plan to spend that alive, not when you are passing away. In some cases, I mean, huge amount of money go to back to the government because no one is making it
Right. Yeah. No. It's a big issue out there that no one's talking about for real.
right. And I'm not saying don't save, don't prepare for the following year. I mean, I'm not saying spend everything. No, no. What I'm saying is, when you have a lot extra, then you can have a balance, right? And it's very easy.
Right. Well, I look
Wait,
forward to the trip to the Bahamas from you, Jose. I hope I'm invited.
yeah, but you need to wait like 20 years.
That's okay. I got lots of time.
Yeah.
I got lots of time.
Now, doing simple math, right? Let's say that you make a calculation. I mean, you account for your vacation, your, I mean, services and cars and house and whatever. I said, okay, let's say that I spend $100,000 per year. So that's what I need to live a very comfortable life. And then in my account, I have $100 million. Hey, that means that I can live a lot years being sitting down without doing anything.
Right.
So you said, okay, I'm gonna for and I am 90 years old. So 10 years more is gonna be 100. Most likely, I would be saying goodbye to everyone in 10 years. That's for sure, right? So I'm gonna need technically I need only $1 million to be able to spend. I mean, to have those 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
100,000 per year, and you are planning the time that you estimate that you are going to be in this war is going to be 10 years, then you need $1 million only. But you
Yeah,
have
no, that's an interesting thought. It's like I think I'm basing mine on 87 years old. But maybe I should base it on 93 years old just to be safe.
yeah. So for this particular example, I mean, you have 90 millions extra, and you need to think about, I mean, what you are going to do with that.
Right.
You don't have to wait until you are going to pass away. I mean, you have to make a decision on what you're going to
On that happy note, on that
do.
happy note, folks, we're coming on to that sad time again where it's time to say goodbye for another week. Um, I look forward to seeing you next week. We thank you for participating, for commenting, for engaging, for spending your time with us. And we look forward to celebrating happy hour again next Friday.
Benita, thank you so much again. Definitely, we're going to see you again on next Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I always love to say this, and it's that we are better together because we win together.
It's true.
Ciao, ciao.